it is incredibly appropriate for you guys up here to sort of analyze the Obama presidency, acknowledging the whole time that being the first black president is like a hard job.
Right.
You know? So there's that. But let me just say this: there have been times, particularly on the Muslim stuff, when I thought to myself, thank God Obama made it in his second term to visit a mosque in Baltimore. It's great. I asked him before he got elected to the first term to visit a mosque. I get the sense that he never really thoroughly embraced the fact that the people who hated him truly hated him. Mm-hmm. And there was nothing he could do to change them. That's right. So why accommodate them?
That's right.
And so here's the other thing. Like the Republicans in Congress now, I'm not talking about all Republicans ever, I'm talking about the ones that have been there for the last 8 years. I believe that they operate on the basis of what you can do to them and what you could do for them. Mm-hmm. And you cannot charm these people. You have to go in there hard and tell them, I'm gonna make life very interesting for you if you don't make life less interesting for me. Mm-hmm. We got some things to do, and you're gonna do them, or you're gonna wish you did do them. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think that when you start saying, we're gonna fix bridges in your district, and you over there, I can't get nothing out of you, you're against me 100%, you calling me a liar on national television?
Listen.
Well, hey man, people may not like it, but this is politics. Mm-hmm. And
let me raise this question. There are people in policy and political science folk who would say the precise path of peril for Obama lay in racializing his presidency or his initiatives. That what he was able to accomplish in terms of the Affordable Care Act, that the settlements that he actually negotiated for black farmers who had lost their property improperly, that he had done all these things, but he was only able to do these things because he had been below the radar. And then the other kind of argument that people would say is, well, there's this bigger set of initiatives that he is trying to end the wars, he's trying to end the recession, and that those things will disproportionately benefit communities of color if he is successful in those ways.
To me, it's like, look, in politics, you should help people who are most likely to help you move your agenda forward. Mm-hmm. And if somebody's not going to help you, why should they help you if all you're doing is trying to bribe them into helping you? Mm-hmm. You can't bribe a rich person; they already have stuff. So you gotta create a need and make people get there.
So what I mean by that is this: the calculation that he made was based upon his goodwill, his anticipation of the goodwill of the American voters to do something that was staggeringly unlikely, which is vote the first black person into the presidency. Is it an unconscionable or inconceivable error for him to think that these bolts that had been rusted in place could actually be moved as well?
So I'm into the devil's advocate thing. And I agree with Congressman Ellison that the strategy was wrong. Mm-hmm. Quite frankly, I think that what we saw in the election of the president was something that we haven't seen in this country in a long time. And that's beautiful and important, but it lacks substance, right? So what I felt over the first kind of term was that there was way too much accommodation and very little return. Mm-hmm. And it was very clear that there were factions of the Republican Party that had consolidated to ensure that they were not going to be led by a black man, period, dot. So I just wanted him to kind of ride it till the wheels fell off. Like, he had black people, he had key voting constituencies, he didn't actually need to make them happy, right? So I wanted him to come out swinging, and he never came out swinging. And even now, there's so much that he could be doing, and I could run down the list of things.
Oh, write it down.
But he ends up just being so tepid, and it drives me nuts.
Khalil.
Well, look, there's no question that he was under a self-imposed gag order for talking explicitly about race. The beer summit, even before we get to Trayvon Martin,
Yes.
As a historian,
Thank you.
As a historian, there will never be, as far as I can see, any chapter in a story about Obama's presidency that does not read the beer summit as an incredibly failed opportunity. Because this is why. Here was a person representing constituents who were his most loyal supporters who trusted in him through his own personal biography that he actually had some experience and some wisdom to bring to the office on the issue of racial profiling. After all, as a state legislator, which he ran on, it wasn't just like some footnote buried in some biography somewhere. It was something he ran on as a senator and then as a president to say, I know what it means to help solve this problem. And so now it's on the national stage because of the celebrity of Skip Gates in Cambridge, blah, 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 and he demurs, backs off, and we don't hear another word from him until if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon Martin. So his first term was, by just those standards, a huge disappointment with regard to what the office allowed him to do minimally, which was to speak in a thoughtful and intelligent way about the work that America needed to do to address these issues. Mm-hmm.
May I also say, just add, it was frustrating that he would in some way attempt to compensate for these failures with these little cultural bonding moments like singing, I'm so in, right, and even at the funeral service in South Carolina, Amazing Grace. These are sweet moments, but they are very easy moments. And he had a whole body of kind of cultural soul moments, soulful moments that I think we're supposed to stand in for these more substantial